Hi, my name is Jess Gibson, and this is Firewave Marketing, and welcome to Mobile Marketing for Local Businesses. And this presentation is quickly on how to create an automatic client getting system that is guaranteed to increase your profits. One of the biggest problems that I see with local businesses is that there's a bunch of entrepreneurs who love what they do and are passionate about it, but run into a number of business problems along the way that prevent them from getting to their dreams. One of them is a reliance on a limited number of customers or clients. Oftentimes, probably they work far too many hours in their business instead of working on their business. Being owned by the business instead of the other way around at the end of the day. Unclear business plan, maybe not knowing how to set up a business plan or just not following one consistently. Poor cash management, money comes in and money goes out, but it's not really tracked in the way that would help to create wealth for the business. And then the classic firefighting, always having to be pulled in one direction or the other, trying to put out these different fires instead of actually building clientele and business and sales. Complacency, sometimes this has happened to me numerous times, just get burnt out and I don't want to solve the problems, or the inability to adapt. And a lot of times it's not the inability to adapt to a changing marketplace. Sometimes it's just the lack of knowledge to be able to know what you're supposed to do to adapt. And this is very common, reluctance to hand over the reins to other people, feeling like you're always the one that's in charge of your business and you can't trust anybody else. Lack of experience utilizing technology to grow the business or understanding how to use the technology the right way. And, oftentimes we've been burned by other large corporations who have come in and said, hey, we're going to do this for you. And of course, they were in it for the profit. And so then there's this low trust thing. But what is it that really all owners want to have in a business? It's very simple. More sales. We want higher value customers and a continual flow of new business and returning. And then eventually, after you've made a business, you've created it, you've built it up, you've nurtured it, eventually you'd like to be able to do what? Well, you'd like to be able to sell the business or to step away from it, and so you can live in your happily ever after, whatever that looks like for you. For some people, it might be on a beach in the middle of nowhere, free from financial worries, right? And for other people, it might mean moving on to the next project. But if you don't have an exit strategy, that's not going to happen. So really, how do you get your customers in your business? And I want you to think about this because a lot of us don't have a plan to get customers. Maybe use print advertising. And if you've seen any of the trends lately or watched any type of media, then you know that this graphic is extremely conservative. Taking a look back into 2006, we saw that between 2006, before 2007, advertising in print probably peaked, nearing $14 billion in sales. And if you take a look at today, at the end of third quarter in 2012 and into 2013, you see it's dropped almost from 13 billion all the way to 5 billion. Newspapers have tried to go online to do ad sales digitally online, and that's remained almost flat over the last 7 years. But what has increased is the total amount of digital ads that are going on in the marketplace, and there's a very significant reason for that. What about cold calling? Maybe you run your business, you're a plumber or you're an electrician and you hired an outsourcing company to be able to do cold call for you. Cold calling, nobody answers their phone anymore. I can't stand it when I get cold calls from people. I hang up on them. And this is not an effective way. All it's going to do is turn off your customers and you're not going to sell anything to anybody. A lot of people rely on their good reputation. If they do a good job for somebody, they're going to get a good word of mouth. They're going to build the reputation in the industry, and then they're going to get, referrals from that. Either so they'll get referrals on their own, or do they actually ask clients for referrals? And I know this is a very touchy subject, and in my experience, 90% of businesses do not ask for referrals in an active way in order to amount to any type of client increase. And so really, what does this mean right now? Well, very easily, print advertising and cold calling are already dead. There's no reason for you to be investing in those whatsoever. And I'm sorry if you are, you're throwing your money away and you're not going to get a good rate of return. You can rely on your good reputation But now online with Yelp and reviews and social media, it's very easy for one person to destroy your good reputation. And over 40% of people go on to social media and see a bad reputation in a company and they won't do business with them. So what does that leave you with, right? Referrals. And how many of you and how many of us, me included, are really good at asking for referrals? So what do you do next? Well, go online and build a website, right? There's plenty of traffic online. Everybody's searching. So we go online and you can build a very nice website, and all of a sudden a bunch of clients and prospects will show up at your doorstep, right? No, you know that's not how it happens. It's a little more complicated than that. Just to give you an idea of how complicated it actually is, let's say, and all businesses must have a website, don't get me wrong. If you don't have one, you're going to have to build one. You're going to have to either try to do it for free in a cheap, budgeted way where you do it yourself. You can hire somebody to do it, or you can get a custom website built for a lot of money. The point of that is this. The purpose of a website should be to collect leads from the internet and convert them into prospects by capturing their information, capturing their email address, their name, and their phone number at the very least. If you have a website that's not able to do that, and then there's not really any purpose even having it. It's just a very expensive banner. So before we could really go forward from there, you get a website. There's all these things you could do: pay-per-click, advertising, SEO. You've probably heard these before. How do I use social media? And really, in order to grow your business, you need to understand a whole plan for how all that fits together. And that's way too much information to go in today. So let's talk a little bit about internet search facts for a second so that we can understand where we should be getting our clients from. Right now, about 17 million US consumers have shopped from a retailer's site using a mobile device while they're in the same store. So they're looking at clothes, they're shopping through a magazine, or they're browsing the products and services, and they're checking it out while they're in the store. 38 million US consumers have shopped for using a mobile device in the bathroom. I mean, that's 38 million people who are shopping while they're taking care of business, and that's something that has never been done before, right? You have 9 million Americans shopped using a mobile device while they're in a meeting at work. When was the last time you could spend money while you're working, right? It's getting easier and easier. And these go on and on. 48% of consumers think that social media posts created by others in their networks is a really good way to figure out where they should go to buy new products or brands or trends or retailers or restaurants or anything else. And so they pay attention to that, because what do you buy? You buy the things that your friends and that your colleagues think are good products and services. These are just the facts. So you build a website. Those are the facts on the internet. And, there's so much information out there on the internet that just building a website alone is just like adding one more drop of water to the ocean. And the search engines know that. And so they're not looking for your site unless you make your site easy to be found. So now what? What are we supposed to do? What are business owners supposed to do? I offer you this. Just to move away from this for a second, I want you to do something for me. In the next second, I'm going to show you a picture. I'd like you to tell me your first response. I know that we can't talk to each other right now, but I'd like for you to tell me, what do you see right away as soon as I put this next slide up? Are you ready? Go. Quick, what do you see? What do you see? And some people will say, I see a duck. And some people will say, I see a rabbit. And which one is it? And you've probably seen things like this before, and the answer is, it's both. But the way that we see the world is the way that we see the world. And sometimes we need to get outside of ourselves to see where we need to go. And this is one of those instances. Mobile marketing is the way of the future. Having a website is not enough. Having a website and a blog could have worked in the past 10 years. But nowadays, we are moving to a place when more people are going to be looking on their mobile phones for local products and services than at any time ever before. And it's going to surpass using desktops and laptops. So we need a better solution that can produce immediate results for local businesses. Here's what you want: a much bigger bang for your buck, right? So here's the machine. You take a little bit of money in, You're supposed to put it into this machine. This could be a marketing machine. And what do you get? Whammo. You get much more rate of return coming out. That's what we're supposed to be doing in a business, right? So where would you do that? Well, obviously, you need to go where your clients and your customers are looking for you. And where do you think they're looking for you? We are certainly increasingly a mobile-first world being led by consumers and technology. In the old days, you used to chase clients. Businesses chased customers and clients. We're not in a world like that anymore. People buy what they want to buy when they want to buy it. And when they want to buy it, they go and search and find the products and services that they want. Most businesses that are way too slow to react to this are going to be left behind. So local search is mobile browser based. And what does that mean? What that means is in 2012, Google found that 50% of mobile searches was completely locally based, meaning people weren't searching international companies or national. They were looking in my area code, in my city, in my maps area directly around me within a 5-mile radius, what products and services are around. And there are over 20 billion mobile local searches in 2012. And the numbers are not in for 2013, but you can already imagine that's going to far surpass that. Google believes so much in mobile technology and mobile searches and local businesses that it is investing tons of resources into developing a local businesses in the search engine optimization and in web searches for mobile devices. On June 11th, they announced that all businesses must have a mobile website now to rank well in mobile searches, or they're just not going to show up at all. That means most local businesses do not have a mobile website. All of your competitors and yourself included probably don't have a mobile website. And somebody might say, well, I can search on my phone and I can find my website, so it's mobile. No, that's a traditional website that shows up and you can see it in a mobile device, but it does not convert. And we'll take a look at the difference in just a second. So what does this actually mean, right? The more I think, the more confused I get. It's very simple. If you want your business to survive and to thrive, you need a mobile marketing plan, period. There's no exception to this rule. So what is a mobile marketing plan? What does it entail? Well, it's an automated system that builds a big list of people, of prospects, who you can convert into new customers by creating relationships with through mobile technology like email and text messages and promotions. And it actively engages your current customers that you have to come in more often and to spend more money. I know this might, sound too good to be true, but it's not. This is how it works. Imagine this. Domino's is one of the largest pizza companies on the planet, and they fully understand that if you take a look at their standard website, it's not very easy for me to act and buy upon while I'm online on my phone. And so what they've done is they've created a mobile version of it that if I clicked on any one of those things, order from the menu, see coupons, find a store, track my order, log into my account, those are very active customer-based things. And what they're all going to do is funnel me down to a purchase and allow me to be able to buy a pizza wherever I am. And I have to give you a case in point. My wife and I were just out locally, and one of my favorite pizza restaurants happens to be Valentino's. And I went online to search for them because I wanted to buy a pizza. They did not have a mobile optimized website, so I couldn't order pizza through my phone. My wife and I were out to dinner. I didn't want to have to, call, get on the phone right there. I just wanted to click a couple times and pay for it right there with my credit card and have the pizza delivered to my kids who were staying at home. And they weren't able to provide that. So you know what I did? I went to Domino's and I ordered a pizza from Domino's even though I didn't prefer to go there. So Valentino's, they lost a little bit of business, right? All companies who provide local services should be on a mobile website so that people, when they look for you, they can find you. This is the information age. We want things right now, and we want them fast. And if we can't find it, we're going to delete out of that. We're going to go back to another page. We're going to find somebody that does have it to offer. And that really is just the truth of it. So mobile local searches are incredibly fast converting sales for all types of businesses. The statistics on this are between 70 and 90% of local searches convert to a sale the very same day. And I don't know of any other type of marketing program or plan or hot lead generation system that has that kind of a conversion rate. And as a matter of fact, there isn't one, right? If you go through the kind of sales funnel process, most people who are looking to buy something, first they become aware that they want it, and then they take an interest in it, and they do some types of research, right? They maybe go online, then they have this desire, they want to act, and they still haven't chosen to act yet, right? But a mobile local search means that these people are willing and acting to buy right now, today, sometimes within the very, very same hour. This means same day sales for your company if you happen to be in that platform. Same day sales are great. Check this out. What happens if somebody searched online for your product or service, your mobile website came up, and that converted within 1 hour? How would that be to have a brand new client within 1 hour just because you had the technology at hand to make that sale possible? If you're a restaurant or a bar or an entertainment club, get this, 64% of mobile restaurant searches convert immediately. That means people are looking to go and purchase right now or within an hour. 90% of everybody who looks on their phone for a restaurant buys within that day. I mean, that's just absurd. These are not numbers that I made up. Good. I'm glad you're listening finally. So what if you could do this? All right, let's look at what this means for you and your product and business and your service and your location. What if you could turn on and off your client and your customer and your client recruiting system anytime you want it? For instance, you could ramp up sales. If you were so busy you needed to cool it off, you could cool it off. You could control 100% how many people frequented your business on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. What if that was in your control? Because we all know one of the biggest complaints is that local businesses, they get busy and then they get slow, and they get busy and they get slow, and that everybody says that's just the way it is. Well, that's not the way that it has to be. What if you could run promotions for slow days and you could immediately draw in customers? What if you could create some social buzz around this scene that was going on the slowest day that you could possibly have, and all of a sudden you have people checking in on their social media sites, looking at their phone saying, what's going on down there? They want to come down and see too. What if you could get the contact information for nearly every single customer or client that walks through your doors? They'd be happy to give it to you. And then you could get long-term recurring income from them, long-term profits from them, because you could establish a relationship with to get them back through the door time after time after time. What if you had a system that you could reach them on a daily and weekly basis to stay at the top of their mind, so whenever they thought about your category, you were the first person that they thought of? And what if you could continually increase your individual customer value? Meaning that they came in one time and let's say each new customer happens to be worth $100 a month to you. What if you could keep building on that customer value so that each new customer now is not worth 100, they're worth 200, they're worth 500, and you could anchor them for the long term? What would that really mean for your business in the long term? And I'm glad that you brought this up. Let me just give you a little bit of an example here of how mobile marketing and one particular strategy of mobile marketing is so incredibly powerful. Only 5% of emails actually get read. There are 97% of text messages are opened and only 5% of emails actually get read. So what does that mean for conversions? 83% of our text messages are opened immediately. 85% of Americans own a mobile phone. If 82% of all Americans do not leave the house without their cell phones, what kind of a market do you actually have that you could reach immediately on a daily basis anytime you wanted to? How many people walk around with their laptops or their desktops? Not very many. If you want to connect with your customers and your clients, you need to do it through mobile. That's the only way to do it. 4.1 billion text messages are sent daily. That's just mind-boggling. And finally, the number of mobile users will outnumber personal computer, laptop, and desktop computers by 2014. This is Morgan Stanley's research. This is not made up. This means next year there will be more mobile users on the planet than there will be computer and laptop. And yet we're still stuck in this mindset. A lot of businesses are still stuck in this mindset where they're afraid to actually get a really good website. Well, we're beyond that by now. Now it's all about mobile. What is a mobile marketing? It's a total system where you pop up in your mobile local searches on Google Maps. You're able to connect with your clients and your customers through social mobile, which allows you to brand yourself with all of their friends and their family and their close, trusted people. You're able to send out SMS, text messages, coupons through texting, which draws them in instantly. Most people check their email on their phone, so they're constantly updated with information from you. You're able to run QR codes and other types of short surveys or quick coupons that can be converted instantly. There's mobile commerce, and of course, there's also all types of mobile applications that can also boost business. In the end, some businesses are going to understand this, they're going to get it, and they're going to thrive, and there's a lot of them that simply are not. Since you're listening to this and you're watching this presentation, I'm hoping that you're one of the ones that will. Really, a mobile marketing device, a mobile marketing plan is a mobile sales tool. It's the ability to, for instance, print coupons from your phone and redeem them instantly. Printing coupons in a newspaper and sending them out is like throwing nails all over the lawn trying to, I don't know, it doesn't even make sense, right? You're just scattering things everywhere, hoping somebody finds one thing. If you have people who have already bought your product and service before and know that they want it again, doesn't it make much more targeted sense to send it straight to them so you can bring them back through the door? And research has already shown that digital coupons are redeemed 10 times more than print coupons. So imagine ordering something online. You offer them a coupon. They punch in their first name, their last name, their email, and their mobile phone number. Boom. And they send it to you and they get $5 off their next purchase. Or maybe you upsell them and they, instead of, if your average price is $25, you offer them $35. If they spend $35, they get $5 off. So you upsold them, you got their information, and they can even share this with their friends and family to boost your business. To get away from that a little bit, what's the flip side? If we take a look at U.S. small business profiles, 93% about only have an annual revenue of less than $250,000, and that's a fairly large size small business, $250,000 a year in revenues. 57.1% have revenues of less than $25,000. So if you take a look at this, what the success rate is through the years, if you're a small business and you're just starting up and this is your first year, you only have a 15% success rate in your first year. It jumps up to 30% in your second year, but that means 85% of all brand new businesses will fail in their first year, and they'll fail because they won't be able to build their client base, not because their product or service is not needed, but because they don't know the marketing game. And the technology marketing game shifts so quickly that if you have not adapted year after year after year and stay on top, the chances of you surviving are very, very slim.